guess, really helped me and what made me different was no matter what I went through, I always thought I wanted to give back. That was what I always thought, like, I'm going to take from this situation. So if something went bad, I took from that situation. I remember my first foster home, some situation happened with my sisters, and they kicked all three of us out. They kicked my older sister out. Me and my second sister went into 2020. We were sitting in 2020, and they were like, hey, your foster parents said you guys can come, you can come home. So I'm glad. I'm like, Ashley, we're going back. We're going back. They're like, oh, no, they only want you. And I'm like, what? Like, why would I want to go without my sister? And I don't think everyone noticed that. Like, you can't sit here and then, too, in a way, that made my sister act out more. Because it's like, what do y'all mean I don't want her? So then not only did that drive her away, but it drove a wedge between us, because then she looked at me as if you're doing something that makes these people want you and not me. So that made our relationship as a family, just as sisters, grow harder, because it's like everyone was like, oh, we like her, but we don't want her sister. And it was like, it's like people, you just can't, you wouldn't do it to your own kids, so why was they doing it to us? And it was hard to grow up and want the things that normal kids would have. And I hate to use the word normal because I am a normal kid. I was a normal kid. I just didn't have a normal situation. And then on top of that, it was just life. Like one day I had to realize that life is life. There's nothing I can do. And as people say, you have to play the cards you were dealt. So once I came to the realization that I can't change my past, I can't change the people in my life, I had to make a choice of my own to do better, I started trying. But again, I still was that rebellious child. I still was that hurt little girl. I was at 16, I was 15, and I was hurt because I wanted what everyone had. And it was hard. It's like I knew I couldn't have it, and I was like, I'm going to make a way to get it. So what I did, instead of getting, because I didn't have any good resources and good relationship with people, the first person that actually showed me what I call love was my son's father. I met him about 15. And I thought I was so in love, and I'm like, this guy really cares about me. He really takes the time to do things for me. And the reality was, he knew that I didn't know what anything was. I was like, ooh, this is clay to mold for him. And he made me believe that that was like normal, like our life was normal. And because I didn't have a lot of people to take that time and teach me what love was, to teach me a relationship, a people's relationship, not even like a physical relationship, a person-to-person relationship. I was talking to a lady the other day. Growing up, I don't know how many people came in and out of my foster home. I don't know how many times I had to explain to some kids who a person was. And it's like, that was tiresome at that age. That's hard at that age. I remember one time I came out of my foster home and everyone was like, that's your mom. I'm like, no, that's my foster mom. It's not my freaking mom. And it was annoying. So when this guy comes in my life, he's like, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to do all this stuff. I really believe that. I got into a really abusive relationship, actually. And I considered that a normal relationship because I didn't know what a normal relationship was. It took years. I had women, and I say the women because they were very strong. I had a teacher who, she would come to my basketball games. When I was in junior high, she would come to my basketball games. And that was the first time an adult took interest in me, other than the fact that I was a caseworker, I was a foster kid, and I was like, no, she's a kid, she wants someone. I remember crying. And the next day, she came to my basketball game every game after that. And it really, that was the first change that I noticed. It's the first time I realized, like, wow, there's someone out there that cared. And it really just made me care just a little bit more about what I was doing. So, like, whenever I was in her class, I behaved myself. It's like, she's going to come to my game, so I don't want to misbehave and get in trouble and then she's not come. And then the next person, that was before I got to foster care. Then when I got back into foster care, I went through 2 caseworkers at first. In foster care at first, I thought they sucked. I was like really terrible. But now as I look back, they were just workers, and there was nothing like terrible about them. It was just that it was not meant for them to be in my life at that point. When I got my 3rd caseworker, Monica Middleton, she changed another thing. Like, she gave me, like, she'll answer her, I don't know if it was a work number or what number it was, but it was after hours. Like, I could call her, I could text her after 4 o'clock, and she would answer sometimes. And I'm like, what? I remember the first time I did it, I just called to see if she would answer. This lady crazy. But it was something that changed, because that made me feel like I wasn't just a case to her. I was a child, and she really wanted to help me. She made me feel normal. And then I was still troubled. I was still a troubled child. So I did get into a lot of trouble. And then I had my probation officer, which I got so confused with my GAL for so many years until she talked to me today. She did something that was also so amazing. Every time I got in trouble and we were at court, she never sat there. Like, the first of all, she introduced herself. I cannot tell you how many times I went to court and I did not know the people that were defending me. I'm like, who are these people? You're talking about me like I'm not even here. Do you even know who I am? Like, my sister could have sitting here and you wouldn't even know the difference. So, but she introduced herself. She let me know who she was and why she was here. And she took the time to try to talk to me. And she defended me in court every time. Like, no matter like how bad the situation might have been, she stood up for me. She's like, no, she's not a bad kid. Like, she really is trying. Like, let me work with her. Like, that was her thing. It was like, let me work with her. I can prove to you guys that this girl is not gonna stay in the system. She's not gonna keep ending up in the justice system. And that helped, that made me feel good. Because eventually I'm like, I like you, but I don't want to keep seeing you. So I really was like, okay, you know what? She believes I am good. Like, she believed the good in me. So I was like, that made me feel good. It was like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Like, maybe I shouldn't be going to court. Maybe I shouldn't be getting myself in trouble. And then I had my mentor. I met my mentor. I didn't want to be a part of the program that I got my mentor through. I was so tired. I volunteered for a lot of people. My caseworker, that was one of her biggest things. She always made me volunteer for stuff. Hey, they need somebody to talk about this. Go volunteer. They need someone on the committee. Go volunteer. And I don't know if she's seen something in me that she knew that would trigger this passion to help people. That's why she made me do it. But I was, in the time, at first I hated it. But now I'm like, wow, like what she made me do changed me. That makes me the person I want to give back. Like, once I start volunteering and talking with people, professional people, and policies people, I'm like, well, you know, that sounds stupid, that policy made, right? Because you make that policy just makes me want to go out and do the opposite of your policy, which isn't going to help either one of us. So it was, at first it was just a way for me to talk to the girl. I was like, hey, that's stupid. No. And then eventually I really started thinking about, like, wow, I can make a change here. I can keep some young foster youth from going through what I went through. So it was really, eventually it became a passion of mine. It's like, who needs a youth on their board? Who wants to hear me? I'm here to talk. So eventually I really got head forward into the thing. I really started studying and researching things and finding out statistics. And then my sisters, I'm the third oldest of the 8 kids my mother had. So I've always thought, like, to myself, I don't want my sisters to go through what I went through. I mean, it's stuff I'm not even going to say, but it was like hard when you realize at 6 years old, I was making adults decisions about life. And I looked at that one day and I told myself, I will never, ever let my sister make a decision that will change the rest of her life at 6 years old. I will never allow my kids to make a decision at 6 years old that will change the rest of their life. And at that moment when I realized that, I realized the only way to do that is to change what's already there, to make it better, to bring forth information that people might not realize. It's like, if you own a cat, you don't realize your furniture might smell like cat to everybody else. So it's like, maybe these people don't realize what they're doing, or maybe they don't realize the real effect of the services they have. So it's like, the only way to change it is to be a part of it. So I really put my head forth into the mentoring program. I really was like, you know, okay, I didn't see myself going to college. I didn't see myself graduating high school. But I said, you know, eventually I just gave it a shot. And it was a long shot, but we made it out of high school. And we're trying to get into college. It's been very difficult trying to get into college, but we made it. And my mentor stuck with me. I remember after meeting her for like the second time, she's like, hey, Laquita, I quit my job. I got on my phone and was like, hey, this lady is stupid. She quit her job and talked to me. And she was just so excited about it. And I'm like, no. So then I tried to avoid her. And she just wouldn't go away. She just wouldn't go away. So eventually she kind of went wear down on me. And I was like, maybe she is some use. Maybe she really do want to help. I mean, who quits their job to help people? So, I mean, it was just that little thing. That was a big thing. Everybody can't do that. I understand. But also to me, it was like, wow, she quit her job. So eventually I kind of was like, maybe I should give her a try. But in the end, it's just those little things you do. So little things you do as caseworkers, as case managers, as directors, and anytime you like interact with people, like we want to be treated normally. That's the biggest problem. Is when I talk to other foster youth, it's like, I want to be normal. I don't want to have to explain to my teacher that they're calling my foster mom or my doctor. It's like, what's your family history? I don't know. I'm in foster care. So do your mom have AIDS? I don't know. I'm in foster care. It's annoying. But it's the changing the little things that people do that really change a lot. Like, my mentor changed it. She changed it. She made me care about education. I mean, like I said, the road was rocky. I ended up having my son at 20. I turned 20. And it was bad. My relationship with my son's father was terrible, and I needed a way out. And when I finally came to the realization that this is not a way a proper relationship should work, and it's not just because I came to it, it's because I started studying. I started watching other people's relationships, and after a while I was like, wow. And that's the thing, like, kids watch you, and if you are passionate and you care about them, whether it's a little conversation you have about a personal thing or something you do personally for that person, can make a big difference.